Hey, this is René, welcome back to another video on this channel, and today I want to write a small program with you that helps to close positions or cancel orders on a key press. So if you press any key on your PC or laptop, for example the key P for position close, you can close all the open positions with this program. This can be really useful to cancel open orders or close open positions quickly, and it was requested multiple times. So let's jump right into the programming part. So to write a program, you use the MetaQuotes language editor. You can click on Tools and then MetaQuotes language editor in your MetaTrader to open the MetaQuotes language editor. Then you can click in the upper left corner on New, select Expert Advisor Template, click Next, then you choose a name, key press closer. Doesn't really matter what name you choose. You can also change this later, but you have to choose any name here. Then you click on Next, Next, and Finish. And that's it. So this will create the raw template for a new Expert Advisor. I won't explain the basics here because I did this in many other tutorials on the channel. So I usually like to remove the comments, and also I like to rearrange my brackets. Okay, so since we are working with chart events, we cannot use one of the already existing methods because these three functions, they are triggered if the program is initialized, deinitialized, or on a single tick. So we do not need all of these. So we could as well delete all of them. And then if we compile the program, you can see there's a problem because there is no event handling function. And a Expert Advisor always needs an event handling function because otherwise the code would never be triggered or processed. But in this case, we will use the OnChartEvent function. And you can see, if I just write it like this, like void OnChartEvent function, you can see this is already suggested as in this like purple or violet color, which means that it is part of the MQL5 framework, and this is a predefined function that we can use here. So if we double click it, we can see it will write the OnChartEvent, and now you can see if we have a look at the documentation here, just move your cursor inside of this OnChartEvent function, then press F1 on your keyboard, or you could also go to, I think it is help MQL5 reference, and it will open this OnChartEvent entry in the reference. And you can see here there are 4 parameters. So you could write them by hand, or you can just go here and copy them and paste them here. But yeah, you could also write them. Like it's exactly the same if you copy or if you write it. And let me rearrange this a bit. So you can add as many tabs or empty spaces here as you like. It doesn't really change the code. And then you can see here we open the parameters. Or the parameter list. So at some point we will have to close the parameter list, and we can do this here, for example, or at the beginning of a new line, or wherever you like what you prefer. You could also do it here. Just make sure that you don't try to do it here, because if you do it here, it is part of this comment and it would not be accepted as code. Okay, so just make sure that you use the OnChartEvent function and that you write it here exactly like this. Like when I say exactly, I don't mean that you cannot add some more spaces here. This is not a problem. If I compile, you can see this doesn't throw any errors, but you will have to write these parameters exactly like this. Because this is important for the MetaTrader to understand that you are overwriting this OnChartEvent function. So if I would do something like this, I think it would not work, because you can see there's no event handling function, because if I have a different parameter here, it is interpreted by the PC differently. But if it is like this, if it matches exactly what is written in the documentation here, then the program or the MetaTrader will realize that you mean this exact OnChartEvent function. So since we have this function now, we can add a simple print statement here where we print, for example, the ID, the L param, the D param, and the S param. And if we compile this, you can see there's no error. Everything's fine now. We have a chart event function or chart event handling function, which is this OnChartEvent function. And now the program is already good to go. Also, we just print all the 4 parameters here when this function is triggered. So we can see when it is triggered and what kind of information we can get from the parameters. The parameters or the variables here are filled by the MetaTrader. This is because this is a predefined chart event or event handling function, so it is called by the MetaTrader itself, if you want to say so. So the MetaTrader has to provide these 4 values for these 4 variables. So we can use them in the body of this OnChartEvent function because the body is the piece of code that is executed when this function is called by the MetaTrader. So let's jump over to the MetaTrader here. And now you can pick any chart and just activate your program. So my program is called Key Press Closer. So if you go to your navigator, and if you don't see it, click on View Navigator. Here you can open the Expert Advisors folder, and then you should find the program with the name that you chose. For me, it is Key Press Closer. So I can drag and drop it on any chart and click on OK. So this program is now running. Now in my toolbox, I switch to the Experts tab to see what happens. So for example, if I click somewhere in the chart, like this, it will give me some information. Also, if I press a key now, it will give me another information. Or if I add a object, it will give me another information. Also, like with the name of this object. So you can see whenever there is a event that kind of changes the view of the chart or something that is interacting with the chart, like a button click, a mouse click, then we will get this. Or then the expert advisor will automatically trigger this OnChartEvent function. And then we get this information. So how can we use this information and work with it? So first of all, let's have a look at the OnChartEvent function again. First of all, it is really important for us to understand the ID, because the ID tells us what kind of chart event this was. So you can see there are different chart events like Keydown, mouse move, object create, this is something that I used, object changed. If you click a object or something like this, what we need is the chart event key down. So what we can do here is we can print chart event key down to see what kind of ID it is. So if I compile the program again, and if I trigger any chart event like a mouse click, you can see the chart event key down has the number or ID 0. So if you now go ahead and if this program is active on your chart and you press any key, like I pressed the letter F now. Oh, wait. Yeah. So if I also, it is really important, this only works if your chart is like selected. So if I move to any other chart and if I try to trigger a chart event now, it doesn't work, because the OnChartEvent is only triggered if the chart is currently like active or in the foreground or selected. So I have to go to the chart where the expert advisor is running, and then I can press any chart, any key on my keyboard to trigger the keystroke event. And you can see the ID is 0 for the keystroke event, and also if I press any key, the ID is 0. It's different if I press if I do a mouse click, for example, then the ID is 4. But the ID for the keystroke is always 0. So what we can do here is to check if a key was pressed. We can check if ID is equal to chart event key down. If we do it like this, we will only find the chart events where a key was pressed on your keyboard. So if I go back to the MetaTrader and if I start to just like click in the chart, or if I add objects or something, you can see this does not trigger or active or print like the information. But if I press some keys on the keyboard, it indeed triggers this line here. And this is because I check if the ID is equal to chart event keydown. And I use a simple if statement for this, where I can just have this like condition in the round brackets and then a body which is only executed if the condition is true. So this is how to find out what what happened, like what if it was a key that was pressed. Now I want to figure out what specific key was pressed. And the key, as you can see, like here, if I press the letter J, for example, I cannot really see a J here. There are just numbers. So I need to interpret these numbers to understand what key was pressed. And there is a function for this, which is translate key. So you can see there is a key code requested, and this is a integer value. So we will choose this long L parameter here, because this is usually the parameter that is used for numbers without a decimal point. And the ID is, of course, not the one that we should choose here, because the ID will always be the same. It's always 0. But the L parameter changes. So you can see here, like sometimes it's 75, then it's 69, it's 78 and stuff. It depends on what key we press. So we can translate the key here using the L parameter. And we can store this in a unsigned short variable. So something like this, because you can see the translate key, oh, it's a short only, it translates the key to a Unicode character. And now if we like print this value here, like this key, we will see that it is still not really what we want to see. Because now it gives me another number that I cannot really understand this. I mean, I don't really know that if I press like a J, it's 106, but I want to really know if it is a J. So what I do, the next step is I have to say short key string, for example. I can use the short to string function, and now there's a symbol code, a short symbol code requested, and I can use my key here. So if I print this key string now, this will give me the key that was pressed. So if I go back to the chart, if I press some keys here, come on, like the J, oh, it's not really working. Why isn't it working? Wait a second. Short to string. Oh, okay, I just figured it out. I made this key string variable a short, but of course it has to be a string. So if I compile this, if we go back to the MetaTrader, and if I press any button now, like the J, you can see it is now giving me the letter that was pressed. Like I'm just pressing some random letters, and you can see it gives me, first of all, the ID, the L parameter, the D parameter, and the S parameter, which is just, these are the variables that are given to us by the OnChartEvent function from the MetaTrader. These are these variables. Then I take the L parameter, use the translate key function to transform it into a short value, which is in fact just another number, but it is like in this specific Unicode format. So this is the second number that we see here. And then I take this Unicode format short number and turn it into a string using another function, and then I get the actual letter that was pressed. So this is what we will work with from now on, because it's really easy to just I mean, we could write something like print and then we write something like key string, key was pressed on your keyboard, something like this, and this will now only give me the information like what specific key was pressed, like this. Also there's a to to get rid of this warning, just typecast this parameter to an integer value. Okay, so now we have the key here in this variable. Now it is really easy to do something. Like, for example, we can check if key string is equal to, and this is now really easy, like to C for close, for example. We can say, oh wait, let's do it like, yeah, like this, closing all open positions. And then we can check, maybe it's not a C that what was pressed, maybe it's a D. Then we can say deleting all open orders or all pending orders, something like this. So you can check what specific key was pressed. So you can see if I press any key like J, nothing really happens. If I press Z, nothing really happens. But if I press D, it says deleting all pending orders. If I press C, it says closing all open positions. So we can see what specific key was pressed, and now we can take action. So we can put any code here or here that we want to execute if a specific key was pressed. For example, we can just add some easy code to close all open positions. For this purpose, we will need the trade.mqh class, like the ctrade class. If you're interested to learn more about object-oriented programming and classes, you can watch a video I made about this recently on the channel. It is a short introduction to object-oriented programming and MetaTrader 5. So we will create the ctrade class here. I mean, we could also do it down here, but yeah, let's just make it a global variable. And then we can say, we can loop all the open positions like this. And I did this already on YouTube. Just check out some other programming tutorials and you will find a tutorial where I explain this. Also, if you're interested to learn like MQL4 and MQL5, only MQL5 programming in a more structured way, like really suitable for beginners, where you learn everything from an absolute beginner level to a more advanced level, you can check out the link below this video and you will find a link to my complete MetaTrader 5 masterclass course. Also on the webpage, you will find a video where I explain all the complete content list, so you know what you will learn before you enroll for the course. So, but here we will just check if we can select a position using a position ticket. And first of all, we will have to get this position ticket. Position ticket is equal to position get ticket using the index here from this loop, which is I. And then we can use this position ticket to select a position. And now we can go ahead and check if position get string. We want to check if the position symbol is equal to the chart symbol. And if it's not the case, then we don't want to close this position. Yeah, I think like this, it's fine. And but if it's like the chart symbol is the same as the position symbol, then we want to close the position. So we use trade position close, and then we use the position ticket to close. To close the position. Oh, also let me add some things here like this, so we know what specific function wrote these messages. And then we can say print function position number, position ticket was closed, something like this. So this should help us to close open positions now. There's a, I think there's a problem with a semicolon or a, yeah, like there's a problem. Okay, so now should be fine. So if I go back to my program, you can see now I have 3 open positions, but if I go here and if I press the C key, it will close all the open positions, and also we get like the information here. So what happens if we have pending orders? buy limit, for example, and maybe also a sell limit. And if we try to close this, pressing the D button, you can see it is saying deleting all pending orders, but it is not deleting any pending order. And this is because we will have to add the code. So right now it is only writing this print message in the expert journal, but we don't delete anything. So we will do a similar, we'll write a similar code block. So we will say int e is equal to orders total now, because we will close orders, not positions. But the rest is really similar. So what we do here is we get the order ticket, order get ticket. We use the index I. Then we see if we can select a order select, using the order ticket. And then we, we check the order symbol. If order gets string, order symbol. If it's not the chart symbol, then we want to continue to the next order. And if it is the chart symbol, then we use the trade object to delete the order, using the order ticket again. And we will have another print statement, which I will just copy from here. So order number, order ticket was deleted like this. So if I compile again, and if I press the D button again, you can see the orders are now deleted. So let's test this one more time. We can have some buy limits here. And also if I, for example, have USD Japanese yen buy limits or orders, it will only, it will not close them, because I said I only want to work with the chart symbols here. So you can see the key press closer is only working in euro/dollar. So if I go to any other chart and if I try to close it, pressing the C button, it doesn't work, because the EA is only running on euro/dollar. So I have to go inside of this chart, and now I have to press, like, for example, the C, and it will close all the euro/dollar trades. And if I press the D, it will delete all the euro/dollar orders, but the rest is untouched. Also, I get the information in the expert journal, so I always know what happened and why something happened. And yeah, that's it pretty much. So let's have a look at the code one last time to make sure that you understand like what we did here. But it's a really easy and small program. So at the start, we include the ctrade class to be able to use this or to create this object variable of type ctrade. We will need this to close orders and delete positions. Like, this is the easiest way. I mean, you could do it the complicated way, but I always recommend to use the ctrade class. Then we use the OnChartEvent function. And for this function, it is important. I mean, you can add this to any of your expert advisors. This will always be triggered if there's a chart event in the chart where the EA is attached to. But it is really important that you keep this exact format. Like, the easiest way to keep the format is to just copy it from here and then use this signature for the function, so you do not make any problems. Just make sure that you delete this closing bracket, because this is a mistake in the reference. This is not correct. If you do not delete this second closing bracket here, like this one, it will not work, because this is the correct closing bracket. Okay, so in this OnChartEvent function, we will then check the ID of the chart event, and we will check if a key was pressed. If this is the case, we will first of all get the short value of this key using the translate key function, which turns the L parameter into a Unicode short format. Then we can use this short value and use the short to string function and create a string value, which is then the letter or whatever is pressed on your keyboard. I don't really know what happens if I press, for example, the enter button. Yeah, it doesn't really work. For numbers it works. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. Like, we can get the letter that was pressed on the keyboard, we also print it. Then we just check if the key was the C key or the D key. And in this case, we have another print statement, and then we just loop through all the open positions or all the open orders, and then just close it. And that's it. That's how you can write a easy key press closer. And I hope this is useful for you. This was requested a lot of times. I saw it in the comments. Also, you can modify this program. I mean, you can add as many key events as you like. So you could say, I want to do something if J was pressed. I want to do something if W was pressed. I want to do something if the 1 was pressed on the keyboard. So you could do it like this, and you can just add the code in the body of these if statements if you want to execute some specific code if a specific key was pressed. Okay, so this is it for the key closer. I hope it was useful for you, and I hope that you can use this for your trading or modify it. Thanks for watching. Have a great time and good trades, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.